What's up, guys? Number 10, we're here.
Big number 10.
I'm Ty.
And I'm Max.
And this is the Wilderness Whiskey Roundtable.
Episode number 10 already.
Big 1-0. We are cresting into double digits.
This is wild.
This is crazy.
You know, this is a big landmark for us here.
Never expected it.
No, huge milestone. We want to say a huge thank you to everybody who has tuned in this far.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for, keeping along with us, especially through the dark ages of our old equipment there. That was
brutal.
Garbage.
You know, the amount of people that did stick it out through that is absolutely astounding because it was horrible looking back and comparing it.
Oh, yeah. I actually just kind of, while I was editing the other one, I just clicked into one and listened to it, and I'm like, wow.
Yikes.
I felt bad for the people listening to it.
Not great.
No.
Yeah, and I just had a lady reach out today who said she doesn't normally like listening to this type of stuff, and she is hooked, and I think she's on like episode 6 already, just like binged it today.
Oh, that's crazy. That really makes a guy feel good.
Yeah. You know, we didn't know what was going to come from this, if we were going to be any good at it, if we would have stuff to talk about, but it's so cool to see and hear people still enjoying it. And, 10 might seem like a small milestone for a lot of people, but it means a lot to us. This is a big one.
Yeah.
And if you guys listen to the whole thing, you're going to find a little fun thing at the end here. Yeah, we're going to do something special for this one.
We got a big announcement kind of towards the end of the podcast here, so
it'll test how many people listen to the whole thing.
Exactly.
We put it there for a reason. So even if you don't listen to all of them every time, this is the one to fully listen to.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, thank you guys for sticking with us. We're excited to keep going. We love to hear comments. If you got any, send them our way because we want to hear it, what we can do. If you guys want to hear us talk about something more, want to hear us talk about something less, just, let us know. So
they maybe just want to hear you talk less.
I don't know if it's me.
I'm just playing.
I'm the better half anyways.
Yeah. I think we go good together.
I think so too. Is that
cute.
How cute is that?
Cute.
That's my heart. We went fishing today.
We did do a little fishing this afternoon.
Went all right. It
Yeah.
was much better as far as weather than we went out last time, but not as many fish, I would say.
Yeah. I think we had better success the other day when it was a little windier and overcast, and it was a clear, calm day today, and it was a little bit warmer, which we
Sun
need.
was shining.
Yeah. It's pushing the fish up. We talked to a handful of guys that were loading on or getting off the lake, loading their boats up and everything, and they were smashing the crappies. We heard that from a couple of people.
Strong crappie bite, which is super good to hear. Sounds like I heard kind of a mix of things. So one guy kind of made it sound like it was deeper, but then I said, oh, about how deep? And he goes, about 5 foot. And it kind of threw me for a loop a little bit.
The first group said 7 to 8. And I think the second guy was the one who said it was 5-ish. They said they were catching a good one per every like two or three smaller ones. So, but that's good. That's a healthy population of quality fish, and it's a good lake, and I think we'll notice them keep pushing up. So we're on the right track now, I think.
Well, I've seen my first little tiny school of sunfish. So that's a good sign up on the pier we were fishing off of there. Did not get the boat out.
No, unfortunately. We did get it, and it is fully rigged now on the bright side, but still got to get it licensed and get the insurance and everything before we decide to go out and be reckless on it.
Oh, the damn technicalities.
Yeah, the ticky-tacky stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good chance we crash it at some point, so it's probably good to have insurance on it. So
yeah, couple of dummies,
couple of hooligans out on the water,
couple of hoolies. Yeah, we ended up yesterday rigging shit up, and basically We got your trolley motor on there. Got some Garmin screens. What else did we put on there?
Live scope, all that good stuff. We still got to do radio and network box.
Sure. Yep.
And the homemade live scope deucer, or the motor mount.
Yeah, we're having some trouble with the that Ethernet box there.
Yeah, really weird. I know we talked about it last episode, but we sold the Skeeter off. But I had a Netgear network box, which is just a cheaper roundabout way than using the name brand networking boxes. You can get them for $15-20, whatever. It was kind of a loophole. And it ran perfect on the Skeeter. Never had any issues with it. You know, I network all my screens together. I had 4 of them networked on the Skeeter. And for some reason, we're frying them.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
How many did you burn?
3.
Yeah. I watched him burn the one. That was intense. Loud pop and then a plethora
Start
of smoke.
smoking and sizzling.
Yeah.
They do say they're rated for 5 volts on the back of the box. So that's probably why it's happening. But at the same time, I don't really understand why we had it hooked up to 16 on the Skeeter.
Yeah, I don't.
And it worked just fine.
I don't know enough about like electricity, like obviously not electricians, but it works with more voltage on 1 volt, and we put less voltage, still more than what it says. It's over double.
Right. But we were over triple on the other one. That's what just it baffles me. I don't really, like you said, I don't understand it either. We did order a step down voltage thing, so it'll knock the voltage down to 5. So that'll hopefully be here tomorrow, so we can get that wired up.
Told you that would be easy.
Yeah, totally. So easy. You know, when you're looking for something that you don't even know what it's called, and
inverter.
Yeah, maybe.
Is that what it was called?
I don't know.
That's kind of what I assumed.
Yeah, voltage inverter. I don't know. But anyways, that should be here tomorrow, so we should be able to finish everything up at that point, I think. It's pretty exciting. I'm excited to get that thing out.
I am too.
I am a little worried about the trolling motor.
Why?
The length of it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm looking at it down. Did you pull it back down again? Get a little secondary look at it?
No, the 50 inches was perfect on the bass boat, but the bass boat's so low to the water, and like I'm really trying to understand, like, I'm gonna be fishing a really big lake, and if I get wind riding those waves, I just have a bad feeling that motor head is gonna come out of the water.
You think a longer one is gonna prevent that, or I mean, how big of waves are you talking?
Oh, that I don't know. You know, that's kind of the crazy thing is, I mean, if it's too windy, it just is what it is. You might just have to anchor instead of using spot lock. You know, it'll be fine for getting around.
Right.
You know, you're not going to jump out that frequent.
Right.
But if you're running spot lock and you bouncing and then you're, you know, jumping off, 20, 30 feet.
Yeah, and I mean, on a really, really windy day there, too, how much trolling do you actually see yourself doing?
Well, I don't know. I think more of it would be trying to spot lock in one spot.
You're still proficiently trying to use spot lock in that kind of weather?
Probably.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, if you have to anchor, you have to anchor. It just is what it is. It's just more convenient to just hit the button and just let your trolling motor do its job.
Right.
I don't know. It's no big deal to have to drop an anchor or two. That's really no issue. So I just don't want to be in a spot where I am trying to troll and I'm, head on with waves and we're bouncing out of the water.
Right.
So I know Andy ordered a 57 inch, and I think those 7 inches will make a huge difference.
7 inches makes a big difference, I think.
If you guys have ever seen 7 inches, it is a significant difference.
Ladies, what do you think? Go ahead and drop a like or drop a little comment in the comments there about 7 inches.
We thought about going with the 69 incher. The big dog.
Good number.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I might end up having to sell that one and get a bigger one if that's what it boils down to. It's no big deal because it'll be the same mounting holes and everything. You just swap her out. It is what it is, I guess. But
so if you need a trolley motor, keep an eye out for Max here. He'll sign his name on it, and I can probably sign mine too, since we're on episode 10 and we're big celebrity guys.
Yeah, we'll autograph it, and it might go up in value a little bit just with the autographs, but
it might take a few years. 5, 10.
I would say buy it now and hold it because it's going to be worth something in a few years.
Yeah, when we're running tournaments and stuff, big names.
Big names. No, I don't know. It'll be a trial and error thing with that, I think. Mm-hmm. But I'm really excited about that boat. I got it in a layout that I really, really like. I actually ran all 3 screens off of the right by where the seat is for the tiller handle. Mm-hmm. Stacked pretty nice. I got the 12-inch right in the middle that'll run the live scope off of, and then I got the 2 7s on each side. I'll do mapping on one and then down imaging or side imaging depending on what I'm doing on the other one. And I think it'll be perfect. I mean, the way it's laid out is really nice. I'm going to like the 12-inch for the live scope for sure. I mean, we already knew that ice fishing that we liked that a little bit better than the 9.
Yep.
So I think it'll be a nice big picture too if somebody wants to sit over my shoulder and fish off the live scope.
Keep an eye on it and see what you're doing.
Yeah, so I don't know. The layout's really, really clean. I really like it. We got to get 3 mesh netting along the inside for just a little bit more storage for random stuff like planer boards and marker buoys and stuff like that. But
yeah, just your kind of miscellaneous things. You don't really have a good spot to put them other than kind of where you can see them because you use them when you need them type of deal.
Or somewhere to throw, whatever plastic you're using for the day. Like if you're running, say they're biting on white paddle tails. You can just tuck that right in there. If you got to replace them, they're easy to grab. You don't have to go into your little bunker bays and grab them.
That's what you caught your little pike friend
on today. Little pikey on today, yep.
Little paddle tail action. That seems to have
We've been riding the paddle tail lately.
That's been the ticket lately, for whatever reason.
After you caught those fish on that the other day, I snipped off the hair jig and I tied one of those suckers on.
I did notice you had that today. I said, He's copying me now.
Dude, I put that on your rod.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, man. No, I think it's going to be convenient to have stuff, even like your trolling motor remote and stuff like that you can just kind of just dump it into a side cubby. It's secure, but it's quick, easy to grab. So, yeah, no, I like it. There's 4 rod holders on the one side that I'm going to have all my trolling rods on. And then we got a rod locker. And then on top of that, you have a Velcro strap system for quick access to ones there too. So, I don't know. I bet you could get 10, 12 rods in there.
That's good enough.
Yeah.
I mean, you're carting 2, 3 guys out there at a time, and
right. And there's probably 2, 3 patterns that are going to be feasible plays, including trolling.
Right.
So you might have your jig bite and your rip and wrap, and then your trolling. So at most you need maybe 9, 10. So it'll be plenty for what you need, I think.
Yeah, I think that's you definitely have enough space to get you where you need to be for what you're going to be doing.
And I like the fact we did decide to keep the casting deck on there.
Oh, yeah. We didn't mention that. We're going to tear the casting decks off just for safety purposes, but they kind of sit low enough to where
it's such a deep boat, and they sat lower than we thought to where, it was just one of those things that it was safer than we expected, and it was also going to be a lot more work than we expected. Mm-hmm. So it kind of is the best of both worlds, that we were confident that it was going to be safe enough, and then, you get to keep your storage, and you don't have to do any crazy remodels to the boat that aren't supposed to be done.
Yeah, no unforeseen headaches, essentially.
Exactly. There's a battery bay, 2 storage bays, and a live well up front. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of stuff to lose.
Right.
Then you got to think, where the heck do you put your trolling motor battery?
Well, and then you don't have a live well.
Right, which is fine. You put a stringer over the side or you throw it in the cooler or whatever. But I like keeping my fish alive. They're cleaner fillets at the end of the day when you clean them up that way. You know, they're not just sitting in their own blood and your meat's not, you know, red and just a clean fillet is just so much better. So if you can do it that way and keep them alive and keep them healthy, all the better. So it was just kind of a win across the board.
Yeah, I was happy to hear that we didn't have to do that. And plus too, when you bring it back down here, you know, for the little fishing you'll do down here, whatever.
Yeah.
We can get on some bass and
it's a big enough casting platform too where like, you know, you don't have the seat up there. You can fish 2 people very, very easily, if not 3.
Yeah, there was more room than the dock we were standing on today.
100%.
To fish up in the front of that boat.
Yeah.
So.
You know, I don't know quite for sure yet if I'm going to miss having a screen up front when I'm fishing down here. Probably.
Well, we can always do it.
Right. I have a mount for a 9 and a 7 that I could just put up there and swap them if I need to.
Well, just run your temporary wire, and if you gotta just pull it off every time you take it back to Canada. So
worst case, you tuck a 12 volt in the front compartment underneath the trolling motor, and you just run a temp wire, and just, you know, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
So that's something that's always an option.
I think that's what we're gonna do.
That sounds about right.
I think this decision's made on that one.
Yeah.
That's easy enough.
So, yeah, no, I'm really excited, and I'm hoping, you know, if we get everything from like an insurance and licensing standpoint done, I'm hoping we can have it on the lake next week. That would be ideal. You know, then we can come at you with a little bit more detailed fishing report. Mm-hmm. So we shall see. I don't know. There's a little bit more work to be done. Like I said, we got to slap the old radio in and the speakers. And then just button up that network box, and then everything's pretty well good to go. So
I did forget to ask you, where do you want to run the speakers?
Well, Andy finished his. Did you see where he put his?
Yeah, right next to the box there.
I don't mind that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're not running 6 speakers and a 12-inch sub?
No, unfortunately not.
And how did the pitch for the ski rack go?
I thought it was received well. You know, he didn't shoot it down right away. He also said it's kind of fun to tow somebody with a tiller.
Perfect.
If you guys have ever towed somebody skiing or tubing on a tiller handle, you know just how fast you can turn that sucker. You don't have to spin a steering wheel on a console. You can go just right angle pretty freaking fast.
Right, left. Yeah.
So you can chuck them around. So it's pretty fun, but there won't be any of that up where we're going.
No. Too many rocks.
Yeah. That's just a recipe for disaster.
Rock lobster. What else did we put on the boat? I don't remember. I think that was it. I think we covered that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, other than the random... Oh, we put all the cameras up.
Oh, that's right.
That's kind of sweet. Yeah. I'm pretty excited for that because there's a lot going on.
You got 1, 2, 3, 4.
Four on the boat. Yep. And then we rigged up a cool little
I don't know if you should say it. I don't know if you should say it. Oh. People are going to steal your idea.
You'll see it in some footage. It'll be pretty sweet. I don't know if anybody else has done it before, to be quite honest. I don't think I've seen anything like it.
I haven't seen footage of it, but we're hoping it turns out cool.
Yeah.
We'll probably have to test it down here.
Yeah.
Run a little TNA.
But I put 2 cameras up on the anchor light in the back. Mm-hmm. And 2 different angles, so you should hopefully be able to kind of piece together a full, like, 270 degrees probably from that pole. So you should be able to see like corner to bow basically of the entire boat. And then I got one facing me for like reading graphs and driving and stuff like that. And then I have a side camera facing out towards the water for hopefully some... Wow.
These stupid springs in our arms.
Crazy.
Clinging.
Yeah. For hopefully some like fish jumps and things like that. I think that'd be some sick footage if you get a big pike that just jumps up and throws its head around and
just thrash.
Put it in slow-mo and
dolphin.
Oh, God. I think there's going to be some cool footage put together off of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously I'll wear one on the chest rig, and if I have a customer that wants firsthand footage, I'll put one on their head or something like that too. So
yeah, you might as well. At that point, you've got the gear.
9 GoPros laying around, I might as well use them. I was like, God, I have 4 more cameras laying around. I don't know where. You can only put so many cameras on a boat.
Yeah, it would become just overwhelming.
Yeah, I put quick connects in a couple different spots. So like if I wanted to pull one off the side and put it on the bow or something like that, I have the ability to do that. But the way that I have it laid out now, I think is going to be the best for up there for getting footage.
You're going to catch some pretty sweet stuff up there. I think that you just can't get down here, and you never will.
And that was my big thing with it, and everybody's giving me shit when I was rigging it up. It's like, oh, you got enough cameras, oh, blah, 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 influencer, whatever. And I was like, yeah, but I was like, like some of these people, this is going to be a once-in-a-lifetime possibility to catch a fish up there.
Right.
Like, I don't know. I'd want to go home with a little bit more than just a picture and a memory. Like, if I have the ability to provide them with a 5-minute clip of them catching and fighting this fish, landing it and holding it.
Right.
That's sick.
Yeah, that's cool. And then you show your kids and they show their grandkids.
Yeah, and you can put it on a VCR and tuck it away and hand it down to your grandkids.
The old VCR. Just pull it back up. Yeah, that's what Max is filming on, is these old VCR cameras.
Camcorders.
So they take up a little bit of space in the boat, and he occasionally has to switch tapes and rewind them and whatnot, but it's fine.
No, and we did run 12-volt USB power, which is going to be sick because then I can just run constant power to the GoPros.
Yep.
You don't have to mess around with batteries or anything like that.
How are you going to tie all that in?
It's already tied in.
No, I mean run power to the GoPros.
Just a big, long USB.
To all of them?
The 4 that are on, yeah.
All at once?
Mm-hmm.
It seems like a lot of cords.
That's 4 cords.
Right.
One just goes straight up from the USB. One will run along the gunnel. And then the other 2 will just wrap right around the pole and just go straight down.
Oh, and then just run it over.
They won't even run over. The plug will be right by that anchor plug over there. So they'll just run straight down.
Off of your light pole?
Uh-huh.
Oh, you put one over there too?
Not yet, but it'll get tied into the light.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that was... I got you. Now
Yep.
I picked it up. But I thought you were running everything to that one that's on the box.
Oh, no. I think that'd be too complicated.
That's what I was saying.
The one behind the screens was easy because we were already in there wiring everything.
Yeah.
I think the other one, I just have to take that side panel off and just splice that wire and tie the 12 volt into there.
Sure.
So I don't think that'll be a problem. And then you can just cord management. You just wrap your cord around your light pole.
With some zip ties.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Velcro wrap or whatever.
Oh, yeah. I like that stuff.
The Velcro wrap's sick. Yeah, that's super, super nice for managing cords.
Just, if you haven't seen it, it's just like a little strip. And
probably
just,
1/4 inch, 1/2 inch maybe.
Yeah, probably, 1/2 inch, I'd say. And it just like threads through itself, and then you just wrap it around, and it just Velcros to itself. And they're really thin and kind of... You don't really see them.
No, and that's the nice thing too is like zip ties are awesome, but like
they look like shit.
That, and when you have to take them off, it sucks.
Right.
This is just instead of having to go in and cut it and hopefully be able to get in there and not cut a wire while you're at it.
Right.
And,
exactly.
It's just easier. I don't know. I think it's just as clean, if not cleaner, and like I said, significantly easier.
Yeah, I love those things. We used them on your last boat, and they came in clutch, and then we pulled them all off of there and reuse them.
Yeah,
which is nice.
That's the thing too, is you don't have to waste zip ties.
Mm-hmm.
And I think too, like thinking back on that Skeeter, there was no great way to do cord management.
No, it sucked. There was no
and
space.
It did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
So even like in this, when it's a lot cleaner boat and it's kind of thought out for that.
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be just fine. It's going to be nice.
Yeah, I agree. We are currently 3 weeks away.
Yeah. God, dude, it's crazy.
Big sad.
Big sad. Big excited, but big sad.
Big excited, big sad. Big melancholy. Big bittersweet.
Melancholy.
Big bittersweet.
We are thinking the 14th.
Okay.
So a little over 3 weeks. 3.5.
We got to get a lot of fishing in before then. So you better hurry up and get all the shit done at the shop.
We're getting close. We're getting somewhere.
I'm going to try and keep coming out and helping with what I can. And
yeah. You came out yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
2 days ago?
Yesterday and the day before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Monday,
and we
Tuesday.
smashed out wood furniture.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a ton of fun. It's the like round pine wood furniture that we're making out there, and Andy's got all the tools and stuff out there, which is super cool because I've never used any of that before.
Yeah, it's, you had to get special drills that have high torque, low speed, I think is what it was. And there's 3 different bits, and one is like honing in the edges of it, and then the other one makes your insert, and then the other one drills out your hole that the insert goes into.
Yep. Basically, the one is a giant pencil sharpener.
Yep.
Because using these skinny, tall, round, pieces of lumber, and then the other one just basically takes your pencil tip there, and she just gives it a little nub. It's literally just a nub.
Yep, 2-inch nub.
Yep.
Yep, squared off at the end.
Yep. And it just, you shove it in the hole, and whatever you're making is made.
Yep. So yeah, God, I don't even know everything we made. There's a pile of bunk beds, all the queen beds for our cabin. Mm-hmm. The fun, I like doing. We did a single over a double.
Okay.
So as opposed to like just single bunk beds, we had to do like there was just a different layout for doing a single over a double. So that was kind of fun. It was just a little bit different. And then we did coffee tables, nightstands, and like end tables for on the edge of a couch and stuff.
Yep. I really like how the end tables turn out.
They turned out sweet.
They're very like simplistic, but
it's clean, like but rustic. Yeah. Yep.
It's nothing overboard. It's just exactly what you need, which is literally just a little table at the end of the couch.
Yep. Set your drink on, set your food on, whatever.
I think I want a couple made.
Yeah.
I want to make a couple for like my room.
Yeah.
Too.
And I said the same thing. I was like, well, gosh, I said, if we have all this equipment, I might just buy some of these pine boards or these pine, posts, and I might make a dining room table, and I might make a bed frame, and I might make our end tables, and
just go full cabin mode.
Full cabin mode, yep. It's crazy.
It's kind of crazy because Danny's family there, they've got a pretty nice cabin up by, it's by Gull Lake up there.
Okay, yep.
And they actually live full time in a place that I don't know if it's still a resort. I think it is. I'm almost positive it is still a resort, but you can also own some of these properties.
Sure.
So like they live there, throughout the summertime. And then there's snowbirds, but all of the furniture in there is like basically what we just did, but all of the bed frames and stuff are like double, if not triple the size.
See, and that's nuts. That's a whole nother ball game to be working with.
But it's so expensive.
It's crazy, and it's so heavy because we've bought a lot of these pieces for filling these cabins and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like big hutches and big like china. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. And like we took apart a big hutch that we found on Marketplace, and how they put that together and everything it's amazing. Mm-hmm.
Did you take pictures?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. And it's simplistic, but at the same time, like it's very complex how all of those pieces go together because you have your sides and your top, and then you have things that jet up from above that, and it's crazy. It's a lot more complicated than just shoving round peg into round hole.
Right.
And like some of the furniture is as simple as that, but then you start getting into these things that are massive,
And there's just a lot of components that
6,
do
8, 10
things.
feet wide by just as tall.
Yeah.
And you're like, holy shit, like this is nuts.
You start peeling into it and you're like, huh, this is a big freaking puzzle.
And then you got to think too, like, our bed frames aren't like fully framed in, like a hutch is.
Right.
You have sideboards and all of this crazy stuff. Like we have headboard, your side rails that the bed frame sits on, and then a footboard. They're very rudimentary as far as like the complexity of how they have to be made.
Right.
You start getting into some of these other things, and that's where the weight piles on. And
well, even if you want to do something like if you want to, you can make them as simplistic or as complicated as you want. Because I've seen some too where they'll take your cross member for like say your footboard, and then they'll run the 2 full length, round spindles, tap the 2 cross members into it.
Yep.
And in those cross members, they'll cut out a slot and actually run like, I'm going to say probably 1 by whatever's, 1 by 6s.
Sure.
Across them and then stain them. So you've got like a flat.
Fully enclosed flat. Yeah.
Right. With your still rustic outer part.
Yep.
It's simplistic, but how in the hell you cut that slot in a round frickin'...
Yeah, I'm sure you just run it through a table saw at a certain height.
And just
but
dado
it's your
round.
groove. Right.
That's
That's the complicated part of it.
And none of these logs are straight.
No, they're all different. That's the fun of it. That's what adds that rustic appeal is you have something basically straight off a tree.
Yeah.
There's nothing uniform or anything about it. Yeah, we just did, we have vertical dowels running between your cross members. It wasn't fully framed in or anything, but it's cool, and they're sweet and they're fun. And I spent almost my entire day staining those today.
You didn't get very far.
No, I got about a third of them done, I think. The shitty part is we pre-sanded all of the spindles or the logs, but then when you cut them... and then put them together, you have, God dang it, you have these, frays and these splinters that come off, so you kind of have to resand them. Mm-hmm. So now we're resanding before we stain, so now we're still kind of playing, like, I can stain 2 about as fast as someone can sand 1.
Right.
So it's one of those things where it's like, we kind of got a slow road ahead of us as far as the 3 of us were just sanding away all morning, and then our sanders kind of took a shit on us.
Yeah.
And we had to get new hook and loop inserts for all the sanders. But then I started staining, and I was able to get through about a third of them.
Yeah, which helps. I mean, I think, you guys are making pretty good headway, and then, like I said, I'm going to try and come out. I don't mind doing that stuff either, even if I'm the sander guy, whatever.
Yeah, no, it's fun. I think I'd rather be the sander than the stainer.
I think I would agree. Yeah.
I did not enjoy staining those.
I don't like painting. I don't love staining.
No, and it's so simple that it feels monotonous. Like it's just like dunk, slap, But also there's so much texture to these boards and these like getting in and getting like every little nook and cranny and like unique little marking and everything. It's a pain in the fucking ass.
You just gotta buy a big, tall, and skinny vat that you just fill with stain, and then you put it on a hook. You just dip it.
Dip them? Danny said the same thing. She's like, you should just get a big giant thing and just dip everything. And I was like, that's actually not a half bad idea.
The only problem is the amount of stain you would need.
Yeah.
And then the amount of stain you would lose because after you're done doing it, I don't know.
Well, yeah, do you put them back into gallon containers and reseal them?
Well, you're going to need a lot of gallon containers.
Right.
You'll be buying it by the 5-gallon pail.
I will say I went through about 1.5 gallons on what I did.
Okay.
So, we burned up a lot of stain. There's a lot of surface to cover. So I can only imagine you're probably 30 gallons deep if you're trying to dip that stuff.
Now, are you just staining them, or are you going to poly them too?
So we actually got outdoor stain that has a sealant built in.
Okay. Is it finishing with like a smooth feel, or how's that finishing?
To be honest, I don't really know. I was just kind of stacking them up, and
sure,
I didn't really pay attention to how they dried.
I'd be curious, just so you're not like rubbing your hand across it and like catching something.
From my understanding is that there is a semi like slick gloss feel to it as it dries.
Yeah.
It's going to be very similar to like what gets put on decking.
Okay. Gotcha. Yep.
So that was what was recommended. We were looking for one that had a stain poly built in, and they don't really make it that way technically.
Right. It's kind of two separate entities.
It's either you get an indoor stain that needs a poly coat, or you get an outdoor stain that kind of has your sealant and your protectant layer built in. Mm-hmm. And that's just what we opted for. They're going to be indoors, but like you said, we don't want that full texture to show through if somebody were to rub their hands against it or something.
That, or like you're walking by it and you catch your knitted shirt on
right.
it, I just
fray your shirt or something.
Stupid shit like that.
Yeah. So my understanding is that shouldn't happen with what we got.
Sure.
Like I said, I'll know tomorrow when I get in.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see because I think with your sprayer, I think you can run a poly through the sprayer.
Sure.
If you needed to.
Well, we're not spraying.
No, I know.
Okay.
Like if you
because we talked about spraying.
Yeah, if you needed a poly,
we could just spray it quick.
I think so.
Yeah.
Depending on what kind of sprayer you have, but I think you can go over it and just because then it would be a really fast process.
Yeah, we were thinking about spraying it, and we were just a little bit worried about like getting a good even coat on everything. And
with stain, you can't.
No, it's complicated.
Yeah.
So we ended up just taping two brushes together to cover more surface area and then just doing it that way. Which actually works pretty good. So if you guys ever need to stain a big project, you can just tape a couple brushes together and cover more area with it.
Hey, I never would have thought of it, to be quite honest with you.
I don't know whose bright idea that was. It was one of the two hooligans out there, but they were fighting over who was responsible for that decision. I think it was Andy, but Andy was trying to give it to Sarah, but Sarah wasn't taking it. So I don't know. I was kind of confused.
They didn't want the credit.
Nobody wanted the credit. I thought it was a good idea. I'd fight for that credit.
I would just say it was you.
Yeah, that was my idea, patented. If you guys use it, you owe me money.
So Sarah and Andy pay up. Oh, man. Okay, what we need to talk about... our gear of the week.
Yeah. We're talking about custom lures, which this is going to be a full 180 from last week's gear of the week, which was extremely simple, works a lot of the time. Now we're getting into some of these crazy custom painted, custom designs that come into play when you are fishing extremely pressured fish. You always hear that argument of like, oh, like lures catch the fisherman, not the fish. Right? Like all of these fun designs, these crazy paint jobs, all of these things, they catch the fisherman's eye and that's why they buy it.
Yeah.
It's more of a marketing ploy than it is a fish catching thing.
How true do you think that is?
I don't. I think it is to an extent. There's a lot of fisheries that it probably doesn't matter on. Or it doesn't matter all the time.
I'm guilty.
100%. I am too.
I've definitely gone down my aisles and done the
ooh, pretty. Ooh, yeah,
that's
shiny.
Nice. That's nice. Me want.
I like that.
That that gotta catch fish.
That's the whole like the Wonder Bread color for ice fishing.
Yeah.
That was that new hot, the white with the color dots of like your Wonder Bread.
That's okay. So here's a theory then. Because of how big that blew up, I'm really starting to think, because who did you hear it from? Where did it start? Who did it come from that said, this is really working? Because it was nobody that I personally knew.
No.
It was all hearsay from like the web or from this or that.
Right.
And everyone's like,
Wonder Bread, it's the next best thing. Yeah.
And I've used it. And I don't feel like I did any better.
I like it. Well, Wonder Bread's like one of my favorite colors. It's like one of my first to tie on.
Really?
And I don't... the hard thing is you can never really argue of like, oh, what if you would have just tied a white jig on?
Yeah.
Well, you didn't. You know, like if you don't just start with white and then move to Wonder Bread, you don't really know. Like if white was shit and Wonder Bread was wonderful, now you have an argument. But now I'm putting Wonder Bread on, I'm catching a bunch of fish, and I love Wonder Bread. But does that mean any other color wouldn't have worked? No, that doesn't mean that.
I think it's Big Fishma. You catch
That's
that
good.
one?
That was good.
You like that?
Big Fishma.
Big Fishma putting their nose in places and just marketing.
Okay. But this is where I am going to get into an argument of like, we know heavily pressured fish get really finicky, right?
Yes.
That's just inevitable.
Yeah.
So if you can put a color, a bait, a lure, a soft plastic that they have never seen before in front of their face, your odds are improved.
Yeah.
Right? So like, that's where I get into this thing, and like, obviously Wonder Bread's a bad example because it is full widespread mainstream. Mm-hmm. Everybody's using Wonder Bread, just like everybody was using gold, silver, perch color. You know, like it's just turned into a readily available color.
Yeah. And everybody's got their version of it now.
Okay, correct.
I think it was kind of primarily exclusive to clam.
It was a clam thing for the longest time, and now everybody's got it.
Yeah.
Because you can't really trademark a painted color pattern.
Well, it's white with dots.
Right. You know, and you could put any, you know, now they have their chartreuse Wonder Bread and they have their purple Wonder Bread, and it's not even Wonder Bread anymore because Wonder Bread came from the bread bag.
Which was white.
White, right. So now everybody's just taking this spin off of like, oh, I can just paint any color and then I can put pink, yellow, blue dots on it, and it's Wonder Bread with whatever.
Yeah.
But I will say heavily pressured fish,
mm-hmm.
They've seen 100 fire tigers. They've seen 100 natural perch.
Yep.
They've seen 100 silver with blue backs. So your custom colors and your custom paint jobs, I do think they can come into play into heavily pressured fish.
And I would agree with that. Like if you can just do something that's unique.
Yes.
I mean, ultimately, you know, there's going to be fish and they're like, hey, whoa.
It's really no different than like, you know a jig bite's been really hot and all of a sudden you come out with a spoon.
Right.
And you smash them. It's because they've been seeing 100 jigs and now they see a spoon. You know, like It's just different.
Well, and I think that plays a lot into like ice fishing stuff, is because you've got 100 guys sitting in 100 yards of space.
Right.
You know, 100 yards by 20 yard space. Right. You know, you're spaced out like that. And probably about 30 of those guys are using the same freaking shit.
Correct. Yeah, or at least the same style, same concept, you know. And I think too, like where it comes into play really, really heavy in open water is like your big lakes like Mille Lacs, Leech, Lake of the Woods, Red, Devils, you know, those places where you don't know necessarily how many times they're hit by a boat. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, you leave and you know a boat moves in behind you. Mm-hmm. You know, so they're seeing, like, this weed line has been trolled 100 times with the same goddamn spinner rig.
Yeah.
How do you differentiate yourself?
Well, and I think fish are, like, I don't know. I've got a weird split thing on fish. I feel like they're kind of dumb in some aspects, but I feel like also they're kind of smart.
Well, and it depends on the scenario, too. You know, you catch them in a good feeding window when they're eating. Yeah, they might eat literally freaking anything put in front of their face. Mm-hmm. You catch a fish when it's aggressive, you got a pretty good chance. Mm-hmm. Big thing is when they're pressured, they're lethargic, they don't want to eat. How do you make them eat? And how do you do it differently than the other 10 people who have just tried to do it before you and the other 10 people who are going to do it right after you?
Well, and that's where you kind of fall into, like, I know I've caught a fish that I was kind of tangled up with for, 30 casts.
Right.
because you just kind of piss the thing off.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's like, fine, I'll eat you so you're out of my face.
Right.
You know?
And there's a lot of that impulse bite, that reaction bite. But when we're getting into custom lures, I do think, like, if you're really, really having a tough time, you know that you're on top of fish, and you know that you've thrown the whole kitchen sink at them. Maybe it's time to tap into that little box in the back of your little storage. That's that, special occasion box, and it's your custom painted stuff. It's the stuff that nobody else has. It's the stuff that these fish haven't ever seen, because statistically the odds of them seeing them is very slim.
Right.
And that's something that I'm kind of getting into, is I really enjoy painting lures.
Yeah. And I've never gotten into that, so this is definitely your topic.
I think it's cool because now you can create this one of a kind,
right,
never before seen type of paint job on a bait that might just be the triggering factor for some of these lethargic, overpressured fish.
So go through some of that, just kind of explain what your process is as far as painting a lure,
Yeah, and by all means, I'm very entry level to it. There's guys that are very, very good at this, that do this for their job. They're one of tens. Right. They don't ever mass produce a color. They don't ever mass produce a lure. I see it a lot in big swim baits for bass. I see it a lot in like flicker shad style baits for walleyes. These guys are coming up with new colors, new patterns, and they're rare. In terms of rare, there's never more than 100 of them that ever get produced. And a lot of these guys are buying multiples of them, so like you're in this narrow category of the amount of people that have them. I airbrush all my stuff.
Okay.
So I airbrush it and then I dip it into a clear coat. And, if you've ever played around with an airbrush, it is kind of complicated on the amount of layers and the patterns and stuff like that. But it's fun, and you have full creative liberty to make them however you choose.
So where are you making them? What type of space do you need to be able to do it?
Literally, like, my airbrush is a $60 airbrush off Amazon. A lot of these guys use multiple airbrushes so they don't have to clean them out every time they change colors, which is, it's inconvenient to have to swap them out all the time, but you can just wash out your little ink cup, basically. I actually just made like a little cardboard, little cutout, little backdrop that you can paint up against.
Sure.
And I use a vise and I clip the lure onto it and I paint it.
Okay. So are you doing this in the garage? Are you doing this?
I do it on my dining room table.
Okay.
Yeah. Just anywhere that I'm close to a plug-in, the cardboard has two sides, a bottom and a back, and I can I throw a headlight on and I just go to town.
Sure.
It's fun, and I actually think that, like, if people wanted to, like, lure blanks, just the clear blank lures are pretty readily available. If you wanted to goof around with it, you definitely could. Like I said, there's a skill set that comes into the airbrushing thing, but it's fun. I don't know, that I've caught a lot of fish on stuff that I've personally painted, and
which is cool.
It's so cool. It's so fulfilling that I'm like, holy shit, like,
this worked.
I did that. I made that. Yep. Like, last year I caught a lot of bass, a lot of pike on some topwater lures that I made, and it was a blast.
Yeah, whenever you can do something yourself, it's always fulfilling in general, but I can't help but think it's a little therapeutic in a way.
It is, yeah. And like, I've always had that little art background to me too. That's kind of fun for me.
Little artsy fartsy.
So now I'm tying it into my outdoors passion, and like it just blends everything together, which is kind of cool.
Freaking art nerd. That's where I had a little bit of art, but it wasn't, I don't know, I think it's my ADHD. I had to fixate on something for about 2 weeks, and then I would just lose interest.
See, that was my thing too, was like, I really dove into it for a while, and then I kind of hung it up, and then I was like, I'm going to start doing this again.
Yeah.
I have all the equipment. I'm going to do it.
Yep.
And I might sell some of them. I don't know. Depends on how crazy I get.
Well, if you have any sort of downtime up in Canada, that would be a good thing to kind of...
Yeah, I can't help but think I probably won't, but I do still think that would be kind of cool to have some, like, specific things for up there. If I can find color patterns that that work.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're going to have time at night up there.
Yeah, right.
Lonely.
I'm so lonely.
I've got nobody but painting lures
for my own. All right, we're going to take a little brief break. We're going to probably plug a little advertisement in here, and we will be right back.
A little piece break.
Hey guys, it's Ty here from the Wilderness Whiskey Roundtable podcast. I'm excited to talk to you guys about the amazing Camp Lake St. Joseph up in Ontario, Canada. Sarah and Andy Arnold just took over this beautiful resort and are excited to bring you guys up here. If you're looking for a serene getaway into the wilderness of Ontario, Canada, this is your spot. Bring your family or bring a group of friends and have an experience of a lifetime. Here at Camp Lake St. Joseph, you will be able to get out on the remote lake, St. Joseph, where you catch huge trophy walleye and monster pike. You can bring your own boat up or rent one of ours. Come up and enjoy our rustic cabins, enjoy the fresh air, and get your chance of some fishing of a lifetime. We also will be offering an amazing guide service you can use. Max, our guide, will do everything in his power to get you onto these giant Ontario monsters. Sarah and Andy have put together a welcoming, fun, outdoor haven for you to enjoy. So check us out at our website and book your trip. It's camplakestjoseph.com or give us a jingle at 1-800-JOE-CAMP. That's 1-800-JOE-CAMP. And we hope to see you up there this summer at Camp Lake St. Joseph.
All right. We are back from our little potty break. That was a short little ad for Camp Lake St. Joseph. If you guys want to check out the camp that we talk about every time we do the podcast, it is an amazing place, and I think you would really enjoy it up there.
Come on up.
Come on up.
Check us out.
Check it out.
We're a lot of fun.
We are a blast.
Bring some beer. Smuggle in some extra beer for us. 1 case per person, I think, is the rule.
That is the rule, yeah.
Yeah, damn Canucks, it's fine. It's fine to have 1 case per person. But damn it, you better start selling Busch Light. You found a new one up there, didn't you?
Up in Canada?
Yeah, or you tried one from Canada.
Yeah, it's that. It's made by the same people. I always forget. Lamont Blue.
That's
Labatt
made
Blue?
by Busch Light people?
Yeah.
You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it.
Labatt Blue?
Lamont. I think you're right with Lamont. Maybe not.
It's Labatt, I think.
Why can't they just have...
Labatt Blue, LABATTBLUE, world's best Canadian beer.
Where is that located out of that they're making that?
I don't know.
So it's imported?
I don't know how it all works.
I typed in Labatt and it came up with a bluegrass band. So, so that ain't right.
Not that. No, Labatt Blue. And it was solid. It was fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be able to drink it.
Well, yeah. I mean, once you have a few of them. I just hope it's not a ham scenario.
Well, it's not hams.
Because, and nothing against people who drink hams. Just, it's hams and I don't get along.
Yeah.
I'll drink it. And Easter with the family. Like, our Easters get weird. But, me and my cousin sat in his garage and drank like almost a full 30 rack of them. And I don't think my poop was normal for 2 days.
Yikes. Tore you up, huh?
Oh my God.
No good. All right, what do we got next on the list, big dog?
So we have the St. Croix Bassmaster Open coming up.
It is, yeah. We've been kind of slacking on some of the tournament scene as of lately. You know, I don't think we've talked about it since the big classic. No. But this one's kind of relevant because big shout out St. Croix and 7 Reels.
Big shout out. They've been super great with helping us get set up for up in Canada there. We're actually able to sell their product and stuff. So
Yeah. I was able to, well, both of us were pretty much able to fully outfit all of our open water stuff to St. Croix and Sevens, and I couldn't be happier. I mean, I know we talked about it last week on what we thought of it and what you thought of your new stuff, but they're great. And, you know, there's a lot of guys on the classic scene that run their equipment, and there's a reason why.
Right.
You know, they are a big player in the industry, and personally, it's the best that I've ever used.
Yeah, I have really enjoyed using that, and I mean, I haven't done a ton of open water fishing in my life. In general, it just, like I said, I'm more of an ice fisherman, kind of always have been. So my personal experience was like the cheapest Walmart, you know,
sure, yeah,
open bail rod that you could get.
Yeah, and that's understandable. You know, everybody's got their budget, and everybody's got, you know, it just is what it is.
Right. But switching to these, it's like, whoa. But they do, I mean, they have some combos and stuff that are pretty comparable to, like, it's a little higher dollar, but also, like, the quality kind of speaks for itself. So even if you just went out and got yourself, you know, one of them at a time.
Yeah, and I think too, like, when you get into that dollar amount, you start to take advantage of, like, your warranties and your customer service more than, like, your cheap Walmart. You know, you break a Walmart combo, you're fucked.
Yeah, you throw it in the garbage and go get another Walmart combo.
You spent $20 on it, but then you break a couple of them, and now you're $60 deep.
Right.
Whereas, you know, these brands that, sure, they cost a little bit more up front, and sometimes it's not even that much more, but they come with a reputation, and they come with a warranty, and they come with quality customer service, and they stand behind their products. You know, for the longest time, I ran 13, and I love 13. I'm never going to knock 13.
Right.
13 was right in my budget when I was getting into all of this stuff. I have a ton of 13 equipment. You know, almost all my ice fishing, almost all my bass stuff was 13. And they never did me wrong by any means. It's a great product within that, you know, $50 to $80 price point. Right. In my opinion. And I will never knock them. I will never. And they actually do have a great warranty program too. You know, they have their OOPS program. They have, their OOPS program's amazing.
That's
you know,
great.
You do something and you actually break your rod, you get 50% off a new one.
Yeah, that is fantastic.
That's nuts. You know, and if there is an actual manufacturer default or defect to it,
yeah, they just send you a rod.
They back it. Yep. You know, so they do have a great program, and they are a budget friendly option. But now that I've stepped into St. Croix, which is I do think it's one step beyond as far as like budget and affordability goes. But you get this custom rod feel for closer to retail market value, right? Like your budget falls more in that 80 to 140. I mean, obviously they have stuff that's way up, but you get this feel of full custom rods and just for a budget friendly price.
And I definitely don't mind, now that I'm starting to get into it, you know, a little more, like, spend it once and have it versus having what I basically want to do is I want to get out there and I want to fish. I don't want to dick around with shit. I don't want to, you know, like, I ran my Walmart rods. I ran my, you know, then I upgraded a little bit here and there. And this was when I was probably a teenager, when I was still kind of open water fishing. I got into it for a while, and I was running like a ugly stick. You know.
And there's nothing wrong with it.
No, like, there wasn't anything wrong with it. It
works.
But I also remember, like, and part of this was operator error and, like, not lining my shit right, because I didn't know any better.
Right.
But, like, I just remember dicking around with it a lot.
Yep.
And it was like, or the reel would jam up after 2 years of use.
Yeah, because you're looking at, you know, a rod that has 2 ball bearings versus 10.
Correct.
You know, like, there's just something that goes into how it's made.
Right.
And why it costs what it does.
And so the difference, it kind of pays for itself when you start using these really nice St. Croix rods and reels. I was super, super happy. I'm like, because I think that actually was what pushed me out of fishing, was the fact that I was just, and I didn't really realize it, but like didn't have access to the better equipment.
Well, and you get frustrated.
Correct. So it was most of what I was doing when I was fishing was fixing all of my shit all the time. And I'm just like, this is dumb. I would rather ice fish. It's easier.
Well, and it's funny too, because like you said, like inevitably, like they come pre-spooled with line. The line is trash. They're 2-piece rods and they don't stay together. The reels aren't oiled or greased like they should be, and they grind or they squeak or they just don't turn like they're supposed to.
Yep.
And you end up with this frustration, and you know, God forbid it fully breaks and you have to go buy a new one. Now you're annoyed because you have to go back to Walmart and rebuy another thing that you can't really afford to go outside of your price range for. So you already know what you're getting yourself into.
Yes.
And it's just, it feels like this endless loop of like this repetitive, like, I'm going to buy this low to mid tier budget thing that I know is going to frustrate me. So what the fuck's the point?
Yeah, it kind of burns you out of it. And I think there's something to be said too about like, that's where you can kind of get into like age. As I'm getting older, the things I appreciate doing more than what I used to is I'm not going to go to the bar on a Saturday anymore. You know what I mean? Like I'm not just looking to go out and party. I do like going to the bar, you know, obviously still, but like I'm not going downtown Mankato anymore. And like say on like a random Thursday we would be downtown Mankato, or a random Tuesday downtown Mankato, or you know, or just going out and drinking basically all the time. To whereas now I'm getting, you know, I've got a daughter and stuff like that. I find more fulfilling things like fishing that kind of fills your cup back up.
Yep.
You know, and so like I think as you get older too, you learn to appreciate fishing more too, because honestly, I was just for a while, once I did get out of it, it was because I was just at a different point in my life to where I was too busy or doing other things or other hobbies or whatever it was. I was always the guy to tell you, well, if I'm on a boat, I want to have a beer in my hand and be going to the beach and swimming. Well, now I'm kind of like, well, if I'm on a boat, I still want a beer in my hand, but on the other hand, I probably want a rod.
Yep. And not your own rod.
Not my. Yeah, I'm not trying to jig my own rod on the boat. It's usually,
well, maybe it is your rod, but not that rod.
Well, you know, it's kind of frowned upon apparently to be doing that out
public
in the middle
and decent.
Of the lake. Yeah. Might get banned from Chuck E. Cheese and stuff too.
And God forbid if there's a school too close to that lake, you're in real trouble.
Yeah. You are not allowed within 200 yards anymore.
But no, I do think that, like, until you get into, like, as you take your steps up, right? Like, from your ugly stick to your 13. Huge quality difference, huge sensitivity difference. And then you take your next step up. Yeah. And I think that's where the St. Croix falls. You know, and like I said, I think they have a category that fits everything from that next step up all the way up to your full-on custom, like, crazy, you know, dollar amount stuff. And I think that's what I like about them, is they have this wide array that still fits from that, you know, next step up into like your not just weekend warrior combos,
right,
to like your full-on professional grade. Like, these dudes are using this on the Bassmaster circuit for a reason. You know, these guys are making their whole career off of these.
Correct. And that is what's nice about it, is they do have that range. I mean, you can literally kind of put yourself wherever you want to be.
Because most of these companies don't, right? Like, Ugly Stick is just Ugly Stick.
Right.
And 13 has, like, its tiers, but they cap off, you know, and they stop at your
Do they need a Kleenex?
Yeah,
for their tears?
They're crying.
I mean,
they're sad.
God, those poor bastards.
Poor bastards. No, and like I said, I think there's a huge market for every category behind it. But now that it sounds pitchy and it sounds stupid because we're associated with them, but they really are. They are really, really good products.
Yeah, I
and
love it.
And like I said, like this isn't even pitchy. Like we're talking about a Bassmaster Elite tournament it's ran and sponsored by them. Mm-hmm. Like there's a reason these people are doing it. And I think that does lead into our little stupid pitch.
Yeah. What's our stupid pitch?
Lucky number 10.
Oh, that stupid pitch.
Epi number 10.
Epi 10. Capitan.
We are going to do
a giveaway.
But we're also going to run a promo too.
Oh, I thought that's what you were talking about.
No, we're going to do the promo first. Then we'll talk about the fancy.
God damn it, I'm jumping the gun here.
You're giving away the giveaway.
Well,
unbelievable.
That's fine, because they don't know what they're getting yet.
They don't know.
Hang in there, folks.
Okay.
We're not there yet.
If by chance you are not the lucky winner of the giveaway, we are going to offer 10% off all St. Croix and 7 Reel products.
Yeah.
For episode number 10. 10%.
10%, episode 10.
Reach out to me or Ty, or our Facebook, or our Instagram, or Camp Lake St. Joseph, or wherever you need to get a hold of us. And we will run you 10% off any product that they make.
Yep. Give us a shout out.
Kind of a big deal because they don't normally run a ton of deals.
I suppose we don't have a code or anything yet, do we?
Let's call it
WWR 10.
Yep, we'll call it WWR 10.
Okay.
Wilderness Whiskey Roundtable 10. Just mention that, or just mention that you heard the deal on the podcast here. We'll get you set up with it.
It's a good deal.
It's a good deal.
I mean, a little bit helps.
Absolutely. Does. And like I said, it's a brand that they speak for themselves, so there's not a ton of discounts or deals that float around out there.
Keep listening to us too, because you know what?
Number 25 might be a crazy one.
Well, right. Like
you never really know.
We'd like to just continue to kind of give back to you guys.
Yeah, we'd love to bless you guys back for kind of supporting us and everything. So
I freaking love helping people.
Yeah. Yeah, if we can do it, we're going to do it.
We're you people. We're all people. People.
What do you mean, people. You people?
And, the fishers, the hunters.
Gotcha. Stereotyping the outdoorsman here.
Oh, yeah.
I see what it is.
I know. I'm probably going to get a bunch of hate mail for that. So, no, I think it's super fun. And if we're allotted to do it, like, the more that we can give back, the more we're going to. So
absolutely, yeah. And like I said, we appreciate you guys, so we want to throw that back to the listeners. Probably a good time to talk about the big thing.
All right,
so you can talk about it. I see you've been dancing over here a little bit. You've been antsy.
I spoiled it a little.
You spoiled a little bit, but
it wasn't at the beginning of the episode, so it's fine.
No.
Since it's our 10th episode, we wanted to do something cool. Our followers continue to grow, which we love and respect, and hope you guys are still liking what we're doing. So just to give back to you guys, we want to do a giveaway. And so we're going to do a rod and reel combo from St. Croix. Max, you have the details on what we're giving.
Yeah. Let me pull her up here. We are going to do a St. Croix Premier spinning rod in 6'6" medium light fast action.
Perfect.
And we're going to do a 7 reel GS Series 2500 size. Matches perfectly with that action and everything on that rod. You can pretty much catch anything on that. That I think is one of the most universal powers and actions in a rod that you can get. You can jig fish walleyes, you can panfish, you can drop shot bass, you can pretty much do anything. It'll handle your medium to slightly larger pike. It's just it's an all-round really, really efficient combo, and it's one of the favorites that I've used. I use it for a lot of my walleye fishing, and I was using it today.
Yep.
Chucking a 1/8 ounce jig with a paddle tail.
It's a really good setup. And basically we're just doing this. It's just Max and I, we threw in for it, just to kind of say, hey, thanks, keep telling people about it, tell your friends, everything. What we're going to do is you got to do the like, you got to do the follow, give us a subscribe. Yep. And then go ahead and throw your name in the comments. And if you share it with a friend, you're going to get an extra entry.
Yeah. So I will say it's going to be on multiple platforms. So do the whole like, follow, subscribe, whichever platform it falls on. Drop us a comment with your name or what you like or whatever. Any comment is going to get you entered into it. And then if you are willing to share it with somebody that you think would enjoy this podcast, you will get an extra entry into the drawing.
Yep.
And I think we're going to do it on the 12th episode. Give you guys a couple weeks to do it.
A couple weeks from now. It's super fun. I'm super excited to do it. Like I said, this is just coming from Max and I, just to kind of say thanks. So,
at the end of the day, guys, like, this isn't a huge, like, we do this because we love it, and we love that you listen to it. Like, all day we've been so excited about this number 10. Like I said, it probably is a tiny little, like, scratch in the surface for some of these people who do this all the time, but 10 is huge to us, and we wanted to make it a big deal. So we're like, what the hell can we do? And we're going to throw in, and the two of us are going to split the cost on this combo for you guys, and somebody who listens to this is going to be the lucky one, and I hope it's you.
Yeah.
And like,
whomever you are.
There's nothing more, like, we want to give back to the people that are adding fulfillment to our life. Like, this is just cool for us, and we want to see people living the same life that we are, like,
it's our passion.
Yeah, going out and experiencing these things, and if we can help contribute to that any way that you get, just like you guys are contributing to our dreams here, like, it's just crazy, and we want to do something cool.
Yeah.
So
we just said
Jinx.
so at the same time.
So
yeah, I don't know. We were thinking about it for like the last 2 weeks too. Like, we just knew it was coming up, and it kind of got me a little giddy again. Just to be we're on episode 10. It's so wild. I was all up
in my feels. Like, I don't know. I've been just like, yeah, like, it's just cool. And like, I don't know. Like, I didn't expect this to turn into what it has.
No.
And I can't help but feel like this is what we're supposed to do. Like, right. I want to give back to people who are listening on, like, we're just two small town boys doing what we freaking love, and we're getting amazing feedback from you guys. Yeah. And it's so cool and so fulfilling that we want to do something for you guys.
We're talking about stuff we love. We're talking about stuff hopefully you guys love, and we're passionate about it, and we were talking about it anyways, so we're sharing it with you, just like we said from episode 1. And
yeah,
we just want to continue to do that. We're bullshitting in the garage, smoking cigars, smoking a little whiskey, tasting some whiskey. Oh, did I?
Smoking whiskey.
Tasting some whiskey, and just having kind of a good time. So we just hope to keep it rolling out, and we hope to kind of continue to do this too. Like, if this thing really starts to take off, I'd give a poll away every week if I could.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. And like, obviously the more people that we have engaged in this, the more opportunity we have. But this was just such a big landmark for us that we had to do something. And you guys can't see it, but we're cheesing freaking ear to ear right now. Like, it's crazy. Like, this is just, it's exciting. And like I said, we want to be able to bless somebody that is helping us with our dreams and what we're striving to do. Like, I don't know. It's so cool.
We're all kind of in the same boat in certain senses, and which is a good analogy. Boat,
rod,
reel, boat, reel, fishing. You know, we're all kind of in a similar boat, and so like to be able to if you're getting started, or if you've never tried it before or something like that, and give you the opportunity to do it. And we're just here. We're just out here doing us.
Yeah, or, if you're that person who has the ugly stick at home. And this is a cool opportunity to get into and try something different. And I don't know. I want people to experience this to the fullest. And if we can contribute back to anybody who's enjoying listening to what we're doing, we want to do that.
Yep. 100%.
There's nothing better than that. So, yeah, like Ty said, if we can do this on any of our other big landmarks, we're going to absolutely do it. When we hit 100 subscribers, when we hit 25 episodes, when we hit 1,000, whatever it is, we're going to always try to do something for this community because it's amazing.
Yeah. And the more people that we can get involved with this, the more we can do to give back. So if we get 100,000 followers, I'll give Max's boat away.
Okay.
I don't know if I can do that.
I don't know if you can do that either.
I don't know if that's true or not. You're going to have to help me steal it.
Oh.
Whomever wins.
Nothing like a felony on the...
No, it's fine. It's fine.
It might be just a gross misdemeanor.
Right. We'll put on hoods and you'll come out here. I'll bring you out to the famous shop here and maybe get you on the podcast, and then we'll go steal Max's boat.
Jesus. We might just give away a boat. It doesn't need to be my boat. Don't take my boat away from me.
God, it just sounds so much fun.
Oh, you can steal it, then I'll put an insurance claim in, and then we can... No. I don't know. We just want to keep doing this stuff. It's amazing.
Let's do it. Let's get us to a point. Tell your friends, tell your family, subscribe, just keep sharing this thing, and let's get to a point where we can give away a boat.
Wouldn't that be nuts? You see those things on Instagram where they're giving away these big 1-ton diesel trucks with a trailer and a skid loader, and it's $150,000 worth of stuff.
Freaking awesome!
And we're
giving away a rod right now, and I'm ecstatic about it.
I'm not gonna put a ceiling on any of these giveaways here.
No.
Who knows? Who knows what could come?
I'd like to reach that point to where we're just like, okay, here you go.
Yeah.
Bring them out. I was just telling Max here, I'm thinking about maybe upgrading the garage shop here a little bit. Buy a little prefab shed, or maybe just build one in the backyard here and turn it into an actual podcast studio.
Yeah, and then bring, the big lucky winner out and put them on in the cool thing. Yeah. Yeah, I do think it would be cool to do something neat with this. I don't know where we do this. We talked about renting a storage unit and setting that up as our little shop or whatever. There's just different fun options that we could do that just makes it doesn't have to be your garage.
Right.
We like to use this for other things too, where it would be nice to have one designated area that we could turn into our own.
Yeah, it's impeding on my furniture building space.
Yeah, and no. Not that we've been super great with trying to record and actually get video footage up, but there's just so much stuff going on in here. If we could have a perfect place to run a studio and just have cameras and all of that stuff, that solves a lot of issues.
You want to go halvesies?
Well, let's do it.
I'm in.
As soon as I get back from Canada.
It'll be like an $8,000 shed.
As soon as I get back from Canada, we can make a big jump.
Andy, you're gonna have to help me out dodging the city ordinance and stuff.
Yeah, no more sheds in Janesville.
Oh. You bastards! I don't even want that big a one.
It's my yard.
I know.
Let me do what I want.
And I have a huge yard. Like there's so much unused space.
You can put a shed back there.
I'm just gonna do like a 10 by 10.
Yeah.
What's the square footage on that?
100.
That was a joke.
Oh, okay. I hope so.
So, this isn't the horse's mouth. I heard that we can only do 900 now. 900 square feet.
Okay. Well, 10 by 10 doesn't even scratch that.
Well, I know.
So that's fine.
But what's 900 come out to be?
10 by 90?
Jesus.
45 by 20? 30 by 30?
Ooh.
30
foot by 30 foot?
10 by 90? Did I say that already? Yeah.
Yeah. A 30 foot by 30 foot shed?
900.
That's still a decent shed.
That's a big shed.
Wonder if there's a height limit.
I think that's bigger than this area, isn't it?
Yeah, this is only, just by looking at it, I'd say 25.
25, 20. Yeah.
25 by probably 18, actually.
450, 500.
Shit, that'd be great.
Shit.
What are we drinking tonight?
Bourbon segment.
Before we do the bourbon segment, we never did give any details about the St. Croix Bassmaster. So if you guys are interested in this.
Yeah, we just got on our St. Croix tangent. We just
did.
jumped right into our giveaway because we were too excited.
We are. We're super excited about 10. We're all over the board here tonight. It's on Logan Martin Lake in Lincoln, Alabama.
I gotta think that there is gonna be some donkeys. All those southern lakes, man, they
tend to pull some frickin' donks.
Some biggins. Just some donk monsters.
I just watched this weird little like docuseries thing that was talking about genetic breeding in bass, right?
There's a separate strain that's in the southern lakes.
Yes.
That's what it is.
And I can't remember what they were disputing, the two states or whatever it was. It was like if so-and-so had allowed this genetic testing to keep bloodlines in lakes stronger, they could have kept these moose bass that they were catching.
The antlers?
They did. Huge antlered bass. And they all died off. It was where that, what the hell was the name? It was like Millie? Do you remember that bass? Millie the bass?
Spotty?
Nope.
Dottie?
Dottie. That's what it was.
Dottie's the big one.
Yeah.
Dottie is the unofficial record.
Right. And so Dottie was a bass of...
Spotty. Fucking idiot.
Close. God. Well, I said Millie. But it got
a Millie.
Basically what happened was they weren't doing this genetic, like, breeding thing to where they would actually take it to a facility and they would breed it and help it to maintain the bloodline and then return it to the lake and then return the spawn to the same lake. And so the lake that they were doing this in are still continuously like mounting these huge bass.
Yeah. So what happens a lot of times, just for context and something like that, like a lot of these massive fish, they don't make it through the spawn. They die. And if those eggs don't happen to hatch in their natural environment, or it doesn't even get to that point, hypothetically, there's a lot of things that could go wrong in that process. And if the large female is going to die in that process, there's just so many variables in the natural element that can actually affect that. So Texas is doing this thing now. It's called the Share Lunker program. And I don't remember the exact. I think it's over 12 or it might be over 14 or it might just be 10. I don't know. Anyways, massive fish, double-digit fish.
That's exactly what I was talking about.
The Share Lunkers?
The Share Lunkers.
Yep. Where you actually take your fish to a certified spot.
And it was California and Texas.
Yep.
Those were the two states.
Yep. And Texas is really big on it. And what they do is they actually, like you said, they put these fish in a safe environment to where that they can healthily respawn with the same genetic groups and continue that strain of those giant double-digit fish. Because there is actual study that says if a 14-pound fish spawns, that spawn is going to be highly likely to be able to make it into a double-digit fish. Mm-hmm. So if you can stack your odds...
Yeah, why wouldn't you do it?
Correct.
And California actually, like, from what I remember from this little, like, it was just like a mini series, like, type of thing on one of the social media platforms. It was probably a 15-minute video. But California essentially stopped that. Just, like, put a kibosh to it and said it was unfair to the fish.
Sure. And I get, like, you know... There comes to the argument of the whole natural selection, let them do their thing in their natural environment, blah, blah, blah. Like, is this selfish of us to try to do this for the sake of, like, fishermen to be able to catch double-digit fish? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think it's a cool thing because a double-digit bass is, I mean, that's once in a lifetime for a lot of people. You know, we get 4-pound fish up here. Yeah. We get 4 or 5. You're lucky if you crack 6 up here.
Well, I just caught that big 24-pound one the other day, you know. That was 32 inches long.
Spotty?
Yeah. 32-inch long bass that weighed about 48 pounds.
Oh, the white lie is just continuing to grow.
Oh. It's called a fish story.
Fish story.
Not a lie. It's a fish story.
You tell your friend, and you just exaggerate it for us next time.
Yeah. Well, it was 48 inches and 42 pounds.
But no, it just seems like these southern states just haven't figured out how to grow big fish.
Yeah.
Like Florida, Texas, Alabama, Arkansas, like... It just seems like your big fish get caught in the southern region. I don't know if it has something to do with the hemisphere or the
you wonder if it's not
lunar eclipse.
The water systems themselves.
I think it has to be, and I think it has a lot to do with forage too. You know, like
we have a lot of big water too.
Correct, and you're talking like you're eating big threadfin shad. You know, like we're talking fish that are 6, 7, 8 inches large.
Right.
Like that's like they're bait fish.
Boy, that's thick.
They're bait fish, thick. Mm-hmm. Their bait fish are just different than shiners and minnows that we have here.
Correct.
You know, it just
they're eating better. They're growing more.
Correct. Yeah, yep. It's no different than if you were to eat 200 grams of protein. You know, like it just. You're able to consume larger amounts of quality protein sources to grow. Like they just have that access to those for their bait fish. Like it just is what it is. And that's why you see these people chucking these giant swim baits down there and catching these monsters. It's because that's what they're eating.
Yep.
And it's crazy. But that's how you grow big fish. And it just seems like those southern states got it figured out down there. I can't help but think this tournament's going to be a big, big bag.
It's going to be fun to watch. Yeah. I think we're going to throw it up. Definitely throw it up at work. You still have your account signed in up there at the store, don't you?
Yep. Perfect. Yep. We try to live stream everything when we can.
What's the date? So that is obviously presented by St. Croix and 7 Reels, which is St. Croix's Reels as well.
That is May 2nd through the 4th.
Perfect.
So it's a little ways out yet, but we are That's the next big one on the docket.
Well, it'll be fun to watch. I've kind of gotten into it a little more myself, just watching these guys catch these big fish. Is that a singular tournament?
It's single, yeah.
Singles?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know you like your team tournaments, but this is just the singles. Yeah, anything Bassmaster is always going to be single.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah, your MLF is going to be the one that offers the team series.
I would say until the last year, I never have watched. Well, I can't say never. I've definitely watched fishing on TV before, but like, I don't think I ever took as much care into it as I do now, because like I kind of like watching like techniques and what these guys are doing and stuff like that. It's
and like
fun.
I will say too, like the footage has gotten even better, and I think in part because of the forward-facing sonar, we get to kind of watch live imaging of what the heck's going on. And I think that's where I get so irritated too about people like, oh, this is so boring to watch. And I'm like, no, you got to watch this person's back until they caught a fish. Now you get to watch their back and their screen.
Right.
Like, we actually get the liberty to watch what the heck they're looking at. And us viewers at home can actually learn something from it.
Right.
Right? Like, now we have this cool aspect of, like, third-person view of what the heck they're looking at, and we're watching them do their actions. So you can kind of piece together what the heck is going on.
Yeah, I think it's a ton of fun, just learning, and then like that's the same thing. I got the lake trip every year with my wife's family, and there's a couple of her family members that I'm like, holy shit,
they're just sticks. You
guys should be professionally doing this.
Yeah.
And the one guy who's awesome, Benji, he's allergic to fish.
Can't eat them, or can't even take them off the hook?
He uses his tongues for all the fish, the big boys.
Huh, yeah.
But he's great.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic fisherman.
That's
he's so
wild.
good. Then there's Eddie, your other cousin.
He sound like made up names.
No, it's for real. I know, right?
Benji, Eddie. Freddie.
Yeah, but like all of their parents, Reen, who just passed, hats off. Rest in peace, Reen. He was a freaking amazing fisherman who taught, Benji. Darren, he's got a place up in Canada. A little cabin that they actually used to take snowmobile trips up to.
Sure.
So you'd go up to, I believe it's International Falls. To the border crossing.
Yeah.
And then basically you cross the border and you haul your sleds, like a week's worth of food. I don't know if they bought a generator or what else, but like I just got to talk to Reen about this briefly before he passed, but he was telling me about this amazing trip where it was like I think he said it was a 3-hour snowmobile ride. And if any of you guys are listening and I'm messing this up from the family, I apologize. I'm just going off of...
Yeah, they might be our listeners, dude.
I know. Like, I'm just going off of what...
Just lying through your teeth.
What I'm remembering, what Reen told me. And so it's a long snowmobile trip. He's like, you got a sled behind you, just full of gear.
Yeah.
And beer, of course. He said.
Naturally, have to.
And then all your ice fishing gear and
probably
stuff.
Lamont Blue.
Yeah. And you ride down and you keep going, and then boom, you're at the cabin, and it's right off of this big lake, and then you go ride the lake for a day. You go ride trails up there. Like, he's like, he had a book that was frickin' 12 inches thick of just pictures of these trips.
Oh, that's so cool.
And there's like, I feel like there's 20 guys in some of these pictures that just did this.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And so that looks really fun, and I'm hoping to maybe be able to embark on one of these journeys one of these years.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool. I was really hoping to get in with it while Reen was still around, but just didn't get around to it. And Of course, the shitty cancer, but
God, fucking cancer.
I know it always takes the best guys. He was a true Norwegian too, just a cool dude. So, but
big Lefse guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. My whole family's Norwegian.
Yeah, he had the mustache and everything, just a pristine mustache.
Oh, love it. Oh man, should we dive into what we're drinking here, big guy?
We should.
Yeah. We are an hour and a half in.
Hey, that's okay. This is number 10.
Perfect. It's about perfect.
We're going to go probably a little longer than normal, and I'm okay with it.
100%.
It's just, I'm having fun.
Yep. We are drinking some Angel's Envy, which is kind of a big-time bottle, too. Like, this is a little bit more than what we would normally splurge upon. Big shout-out to
Arnold's Liquor in Janesville and Waterville. If you're looking for a good bottle buy or some good beer, go ahead and stop into Arnold's Liquor in Janesville, Minnesota or Waterville, Minnesota.
You gotta hype it up more than that, buddy.
You want some beer? Come get some beer.
You got some sucking up to do.
I know. So previously, I apologize, Andy. I'm doing a public apology.
You did it on the last one, too. He hasn't even heard it yet. But
okay, this is a secondary public apology. So, quit busting my balls in the shop. I'm sorry.
Ty's like, every time he comes out, he's like scared mouse, just tiptoeing around.
Like, oh, God.
Am I even welcome out here anymore?
I'm like, is he actually mad at me?
No, this is actually really cool. They're, like we said on the last one, they're getting us some bottles that we're pretty excited to try, and I hope that this is a great place for you guys who are local to Janesville to be able to check out some of these if you have any interest in bourbon.
I think we talked about it in a previous episode too. We're gonna try and push for some like kind of cool bottles that we find.
Yeah.
To have them bring them in too. I think it was 1 or 2 episodes ago that we talked about that.
It was last one, yeah.
And so just getting like, if we talk about a bottle, there's gonna be
you can get it there.
Of them
right.
there.
Right. And that's the goal. We are very heartfelt to our local businesses. Mm-hmm. Even if Ty talks about Sam's Club in a couple episodes, we love our local Janesville businesses.
I will say, I probably 90% of the time I'm shopping at Arnold's Liquor. Previously. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Previously, I was like 90% up here at Arnold's. I support local. The only time I would stray away from it is these different types of bottles, essentially. Finding craft bottles of whiskey is hard in general.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing.
Yes.
Is just getting these kind of small batch bottles.
Yeah. And like we said, our goal at the end of the day is anything that we talk about, you will hopefully be able to get at your local Arnold's Liquor.
Yes.
And that's the goal. We're
working with our local subsidiaries to maintain a good relationship and have these bottles readily available for you.
For our community. Yeah, we're small town boys. We love this stuff, and at the end of the day, keeping local businesses alive in small towns it's amazing. It's how this whole circle exists.
Well, that's how we thrive. That's how we get these values and these traditions, and like
100%.
Your neighbors, you love
your
community. Neighbor. Yeah. And you're going to be pretty much a neighbor here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Big moving guy.
We'll talk about that on another episode.
Yeah,
but
we don't have to go into that. But no, again, if you're from the area, go check out Arnold's Liquor in Waterville or Janesville.
Get yourself some Angel's Envy.
Angel's Envy. That's the bottle of the day. It's delicious.
It's so good. I
actually did get this bottle before for a wedding gift.
Yeah.
And I milked that bottle for a long time because
It's so good.
I liked it so much. Super smooth.
It's such a cool bottle too. Like, it's got this like elegant, rounded look to it with the angel wings in the backdrop, and it's just a cool bottle.
As far as a price point goes, it's generally a little bit of a higher price point.
Which we wanted to splurge a little bit on the old number 10er.
Mm-hmm. I think generally speaking, a 750, you're looking at that like 80.
It's close to 80,
to
75 to 90, I would say, depending
and I think I want to say there's 3 variants of it.
They make a rye and they make a straight bourbon. And I think there's a third one.
Because I've been through some whiskey type warehouses or whatever and just seen the bottle before. And so, like, you can go, I want to say the highest end that I personally seen was like 100.
It cracks like 107 or something
yeah,
weird like that.
It was a big boy bottle.
Uh-huh.
But what we're drinking here, I think, is just
It's their standard straight bourbon whiskey,
Yep.
finished in port wine barrels, which is, I think, where you get that like little fruity smoothness out of it.
Yeah, there's definitely a good fruity taste to it.
It's delicious.
It's almost kind of buttery a little bit, I think. You know, like, I kind of imagine this as almost a syrup on my pancakes. I think it would taste
the
really
French
good.
toast.
French toast.
Shoosh.
French toast or pancakes?
Oh, French toast.
French toast, 100%. French toast or waffles?
I like my waffles.
French toast,
I like my
100%.
waffles. Pancakes are the bottom of the list. I think waffles are the top. French toast is in between.
I'm putting French toast ahead of any breakfast food there is.
I don't know, dude. What are you picking up? And then we kind of said we got our smoothness, our fruit, our butteriness.
I got like a buttery, fruity. Smell is like a sweet, kind of mapley almost.
Oh, you are going to love this one, dude.
Yeah?
You are crushing. You are crushing. Give me more.
Maybe a bit of caramel.
All right, you're getting cold there.
Nope. Brown sugar. Colder yet. huh?
Colder yet.
Shit.
All right, on the nose, we have raisins, maple syrup, and toasted nuts. On the palate, we have vanilla, ripe fruit, maple syrup, toast, and bitter chocolate.
That maple syrup is so prominent in
It's
this.
just so weird. We were just talking about French toast.
That's what I mean.
You know,
it's
like
so
it would just
prominent.
be good on French toast. The finish is clean, lingering sweetness with a hint of Madeira that slowly fades. I don't know what that means.
I'm not sure about that one either. The Madeira.
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 It's delicious. It's such a good
It's
bottle.
good. It's a good bottle. Worth the pennies.
Every bit.
Yeah. If you guys want to have a little splurge, this is a good splurge. If you're kind of in our range anyways, which is typically kind of that 30-40 mark, this is definitely a good splurge bottle.
Yeah, and worst case, go get yourself a 375. I gotta imagine that's right around that price point, and it's worth every penny.
Yeah. It's a good taster. Again, shout out to Arnold's.
Shout out Sarah, Andy.
Thanks for the hookup. We appreciate it. Go get yours. We did miss something this week. We missed a visit at the Waterville Fish Hatchery.
We did. That was really the only other thing that was going on. Waterville has their hatchery. They do a lot of cool stuff over there, and they had a tour there. It was from 11 to 3 today, which will be a week ago when you hear this. But we missed out on it, and I don't know. They do some cool stuff. They do some cool stuff with muskies. They do cool stuff with walleyes. I think it would have been really, really neat to go to. I wish we would have caught it, but
It kind of slipped through the cracks for us, just being kind of everywhere all the time right now. We missed out on it, and I'm super disappointed. He said it tonight, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure we had seen it.
We didn't talk about it on the podcast, but we talked about it, and we missed it.
But it was kind of a hard time frame too. That 11 to 3 mark is pretty hard to make.
It's like school hours, work hours. It just doesn't work.
You're going to school?
Sometimes. But we might dig into that a little bit deeper next week, see what we missed out on, and talk about it, and kind of let you guys know what they got going on over there.
Yeah. Number 10, we're gonna wrap it up here tonight.
Big 1-0.
Again, if you're interested in the St. Croix rod and 7 reel combo, go ahead and drop a like, drop a subscribe. And then
hit a comment,
tag
share
somebody in the comment,
whatever.
Yep. If you share it with a friend, you're going to get an extra entry. We're going to do this drawing in 2 weeks. Again, we're not affiliated with, anybody specifically.
Yeah, any of the platforms you see this on, we're not directly affiliated. This is strictly with our podcast here.
Yep.
Me and Ty are the ones who are purchasing it and hosting the giveaway. So.
Yep. And we'll just go through, and I don't know if we just jot some names down and draw it out of a hat, basically.
We'll put it in a random name generator, and we'll pick a lucky winner.
And then we'll just utilize whatever platform you kind of signed up on or whatever. Drop the comment in.
We'll get a hold of you that way.
We'll throw up a post on Facebook about it here too.
Yep.
I think.
It'll be on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or X.
That's probably going to just be your best way to comment. I don't know if you can do comments on this.
I don't either. But whatever
Spotify.
platform you find it on, if you can comment, that'll stack your odds.
Yeah. So thanks for listening, guys. We really appreciate you, and we're really excited that we've made it to 10 episodes, and we're looking to keep this thing going. So we'll see you through 20, 30, all the way up to maybe a couple
1,000? Yeah.
I want to start making some 1,000 markers in our episode lines. So we're here to stay. So let us know if you like it, and we'll see you next episode.
Catch you on the flip side.
You guys have a wonderful week, and we love you guys. Thank you so much.
We out.
Good night.